Hi everybody, my name is Tapani. I work as a TV director in Finland, but also for the IAAF. And it's a great honor for me to be interviewed by Aline.
Good evening, Mr. Tapani. Thank you so much for being here with us. And so my first question would be, you mentioned to being from editor to producer or to director.
Mm-hmm.
So could you just explain what your career path was and how you ended up being a director?
Well, it's kind of how would I say, I don't have any specific school education to be a TV director. In those days, in the late 80s, at least in Finland, it was very limited. You could go to a university to become a movie director, but not a TV director. So I learned by working, and I was lucky enough to get the chance, being requested that, okay, could you direct this ice hockey game, and that's how it started.
Did someone guide you towards that profession, or how did that turn out?
I think now, thinking back, that probably some of the desire was inbuilt in my personality, because I was a videotape editor, so I was quite heavily, it's very close to directing anyway, depending on the director who is with you, so how much influence you can have. But I think that I tended to have quite a bit of influence then as well, so I was kind of little bit of directing at that time already.
Do you think it's important to have a mentor regardless of the talent you would have, for example?
Yeah, I think that it is, you can have talent, but you cannot have any experience. So it's very good to have somebody with experience to guide you on the right path. You know, not to make all the mistakes by yourselves, because you can learn from the old masters, and I appreciate that really a lot. It has taught me all the basics, all the bases where and that's my takeoff board if we go take a long jump term.
And you consider that you still, being the professional that you are, do you still commit mistakes with all these stressful events, or do you think it's more of an easy flow still now because of how professional you are?
Experience helps for sure. You know better what to anticipate, but of course the beauty of sports is that when the whistle blows or the gun goes, you never know what is going to happen next, and that's the challenging part, and that's the beauty. But also in directing, I think it's also it's a lifetime of education. You got to have that kind of spirit in you that you always want to learn more, because it's so it has so many sides. It's not only directing; it's about handling people, your crew, understanding the sport, and of course trying to be creative and innovative as well. So there's so many sides on the profession.
What in your life has been one of the most challenging events, or which sport per se would have been one of the most challenging sports to cope with?
Well, I would say that athletics of the summer sports definitely is very, very challenging. The only sport that you could even compare would be golf, because in both a lot of things are happening on different spots at the same time, and you have to make the decision what to show live and what maybe take off EVS and show it with a little bit of a delay. And then if we talk about winter sports, biathlon is by far the most difficult sport to cover.
How do you handle that pressure of instantaneous decision making?
I don't know. No, to be honest, it's the way I tend to think is that I try to prepare as well as I ever can. And when I have the feeling that, okay, I have done everything that I possibly can to make this succeed, then you don't have any stress, because you can only do your best. And if it's not good enough, then you cannot help it.
How, for you, storytelling is a crucial aspect of your work. So tell us, what's your favorite story?
My favorite story? Well, there are so many. It's difficult to try to say, but I can tell you one story, which I didn't tell in the morning, and that takes us back to Atlanta '96, Olympic Games, Summer Olympics there, and I was directing the throws production, and it was women's javelin final. Natalia Shikolenko from Russia was one of the clear favorites, and at those days we had in our usage the so-called Skycam, which basically flies. There are 4 cables high above the stadium, and the camera flies wherever. Those cables move, the cross point moves, so the camera can fly wherever, and it can come down as well. And so but we had agreed that for the javelin throw, it cannot come too close because the athletes might hit the camera. So it was parked fairly far away. And on the third round of the final, Natalia Shikolenko comes in and throws a fairly long throw, but hits the cable. So the javelin goes like this, down.
Okay.
Oh, terrible fuss on the field of play with all the officials and everybody. What shall we do? And finally the decision was that they let the athlete decide whether to keep that result or whether to try again. So as the last athlete of the third round, she decides to try again. And she throws again, shorter. And she's out from the 3 final rounds, and the Finnish girl takes the gold.
What's next for you? I mean, when you've achieved that high of success, what's next, and what makes you want to continue and keep on going at that?
Well, like I said in the morning, I start to belong to the relic department now. I'm an old guy, so one of the good things is that which gives me power is the possibility to share my knowledge and share my experience with younger people to try to help them to advance in their careers. And it's always, when you go into the truck, like next week I will be doing cross-country skiing World Cup up in northern Finland. Mm-hmm. It's you cannot beat the feeling, no matter how many times you have done it. Every time you learn something new, if you want to learn.
Thank you so much for your time. It means a lot, and thank you for everything, and let's just enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.